Ask for the old past, dew, hides, wells, and the water wisdom of our ancestors. Peace. Today I'm going to walk you into something that most people never see when they read the Bible. And most people never see when they study indigenous history. But when you put the two together, the whole picture becomes clear. I want to talk to you about dew, hides, wells, and the old past, the real old past, the one Jeremiah 6:16 is talking about. Because when God said, stand in the ways and see and ask for the old past, he wasn't talking about religion. He wasn't talking about tradition. He wasn't talking about church culture. He was talking about the way the ancestors lived when they walked with him. And that way was land-based, covenant-based, and provision-based. Let me show you. The patriarchs were water engineers. When you look at Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you're not looking at religious figures. You're looking at land stewards. You're looking at men who understood how to read the land, how to find water, how to dig wells, how to follow dew cycles, how to use hides and fleece, how to live with livestock, how to survive in dry places. They weren't wandering around hoping for miracles. They were walking in knowledge. Knowledge God taught them through the land. This is why the Bible talks so much about wells, springs, tents, flocks, hides, dew. Because that was their technology. The Gideon fleece was a dew harvesting tool. When Gideon laid out a fleece to collect dew, that wasn't a poetic gesture. That was standard water technology. Fleece absorbs dew better than anything else on earth. You lay it out at night. You wring it out in the morning. That's water. Abraham knew that. Isaac knew that. Jacob knew that. Every shepherd knew that. This is the old path. Indigenous people of the Americas walk the same path. Now here's where it gets powerful. When the colonizers arrived in the New World, they didn't find struggling people looking for water. They found people who had mastered water. Indigenous nations had rivers, springs, natural wells, beaver engineered wetlands, rainwater harvesting, dew collection, high stretched over frames, seasonal water cycles, land-based survival systems. They weren't lacking water. They were experts in water, just like Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Because when you live close to the land, you learn the same truths no matter where you are on earth. The colonizers were the ones who struggled. The colonizers didn't understand the land. They didn't understand the seasons. They didn't understand the animals. They didn't understand the water cycles. So they cut down the forests, trapped out the beavers, drained the wetlands, and then blamed the land for being harsh. But the land wasn't harsh. Their management was. The indigenous people weren't suffering. They were thriving because they were walking the old paths. The old paths are land-based, not religion-based. Jeremiah 6:16 is not telling you to go back to church tradition. It is telling you to go back to the land, the covenant, the natural systems, the ancestral technologies, the way God built creation, the way your ancestors lived before empire systems took over. The old paths are dew on hides, wells in dry places, water from the air, water from the ground, tents, livestock, stewardship, reading the land, trust in provision. This is the path Abraham walked. This is the path indigenous peoples walked. This is the path you're rediscovering right now. You are walking Jeremiah 6:16 right now. Every time you build a dew panel, every time you study hides, every time you look at wells, every time you read the land, every time you document provision, every time you step outside and see what God has already placed around you, you are walking the old paths. You're not imagining something new. You're remembering something ancient. You're stepping back into the same covenant knowledge that sustained Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and the indigenous peoples of this land. And that's why this work matters. Because the old paths are not behind us. They're under our feet right now. Walk in them.